أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم دستور مدد سيد السلطان صاحب السيف مدد الحمد لله شكر الله السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم طريقتنا الصحبت والحرف الجميع. This tariqat, this way, it is based on association. And the goodness, the higher, comes from the association. Only in the association can you take what is necessary for you. This is not any association. Don't think that association means, sohbet means association, so it's any association that you want. Today is Thursday night, tomorrow is Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday. Beginning from tonight, it used to be Friday night. They're saying, thank God it's Friday. Thank God it's Friday. Muslims used to say that, thank God it's Friday, because they are celebrating the Jummah, the most holy day. And they are stepping up, they are improving themselves to remember Allah more. That's why we have the zikr on Thursday night. Jummah entered tonight. This is already, we're already in the Friday, in the Jummah. Islam is beginning with the sun setting. But in this 21st century, east, west, north, and south, Muslims, Christians, Jews, believers, and unbelievers, when they say, thank God it's Friday, they mean something else completely. It used to be Friday is the holy day, starting from the Thursday night, holy day of the Muslims. Saturday for the Jews, Sunday for the Christians. Meaning the weekend is for Allah. The weekend is for the Creator. However you want to worship Him, according to the different religions, they are separating those days, saying the rest of the days of the week, it is for dunya, it is for the world, it is for the ego. Now, we need time for the spirit. We need time for the spirit to take a rest. The body is working, the body needs to rest too. But if the spirit is not resting, the body can never rest. That's why you see so many people, they are resting their bodies, but they are the most troubled ones. They are the ones with the most confusion, the most fitna, the most worries, because the spirit is not at rest. Because they are moving away from the timing that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has put for us. This timing that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has put for our bodies, this timing that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has put for our spirit, this timing that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has put, how we are going to respect that time. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not for nothing that He's swearing by time, isn't it? Wal asr. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim wal asr. By time, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is swearing. We're not going to go into the tafsir of what Allah is swearing. Understand that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not swearing just on that time that we are thinking, seconds, minutes, hours, days, weeks. We're not going to enter into that. What is the time? What is the sahib of the time that Allah is swearing on? And in that ayat, except for those ones who what? Except for those ones who have patience. Isn't it? Those who have وَتَوَاسَوْا haqq wa tawasaw bil sabr. Those who are in the way of haqq and they are patient. So the timing that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has put. How are we moving away from this timing? How mankind has played with this time. And when Islam came, 1400 years ago, with the revelation given to the Holy Prophet ﷺ, the timing of this world and the timing of Akhirat is also put back together, complete and properly, step by step. Because before that, so many things are corrupted. And one of the things that mankind has corrupted was time. Days, they play around with it. Months, they play around with it. Years, they play around. The calendar, they play around. Time, they play around. Hours, they play around. Isn't it? And for 1400 years, when Islam was ruling, you cannot play around with the time. And it is the signs of the Jahiliyyah, when you see time is being played around with. Time is corrupted. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has put a law. When the Holy Prophet ﷺ came to say in the months, in the year is 12 months that Allah has put. And there is a time that is specific for that, going according to the moon. Because the moon is more precise that way. There's another ocean that we're not going to talk about. But they played around with the time. They played around with the year. They don't know when to start the year, when to stop the year. Isn't it? Julian, Gregorian, Boborian, everything they're changing. Even today we see so many belonging to the same group, but they're saying, we belong to this time, we belong to this time. But now, this Akhir Zaman, they're even playing with the hours of the day. Moving forward and moving back. Saying daylight savings, nighttime spending. Daylight they save, nighttime they spend. Moving the time. Man who does not understand the time and the time that he's spending on this earth, what he's spending on this earth for, how to spend, that man is lost. Thursday night is Jummah. Friday, go, renew your wudu. You sit like a Buddha in front of me and then going to sleep. Jummah, Saturday, Sunday. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, the holy days that the Ahlul Kitab, the Ahlul Book, the people of the book, the Jews, the Christians, and the Muslims, they're holding these 3 days very holy. And it's saying it is a reminder now that man has to remember why he is being sent here to the earth. It is to separate himself from the activities of this world and to remember that he was sent to this world. He did not come from this world and he's going to finish in this world. That is very important because in the 21st century, everyone has forgotten that. Thinking we came from this world and we're going to go back to this world completely. Our bodies, of course, our bodies came from this world, but our spirit is not from this world. And it is our spirit that is giving life to the body, not the other way around. Thank God it's Friday. And now, thank God it's Friday. Starting earlier, Thursday night, they start to what? Muslims, Christians and the Jews, believers and unbelievers, preparing for the weekend. Preparing for the weekend. Now in this 21st century, to stop everything, to take a break, and to remember Allah. No. It is to release this beast, this animal, this ego, and to grow as wild as possible in these 3 holy days. The whole week working like an animal, and the weekend to be completely wild like an animal. Finishing the body, finishing the spirit. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has placed a time. There is a time for your bodies. There is a time for the spirit. Everything has to be given its right. But 21st century man is not interested in the spirit anymore. They're not interested in the spirit. They are believing only in this physical world, in the desires of this world, in the treasures and the pleasures of this world, and how to enjoy as much as you can from this world, and then to finish like an animal. We are not created as animals. We are not. From the physical being, we belong to the animal side. But from the physical being too, through the strength of the physical being, we are the weakest, not the strongest. The ant can carry over 70 times its body weight. The ant, the smallest creature, it can carry 70 times his body weight. Average man, how much weight we can carry? We think we are fast in running. The donkey can run faster than us. We think we can carry such heavy load. The donkey can carry more. Whatever we think we can do physically, the donkey can do better. That's why Nasruddin Hoja is using his donkey as an example every time to make man to understand his reality. What reality is that? The reality of his ego. The reality of his nafs. The reality that his ego is worse than that donkey. But that donkey, that physical donkey, is better than our donkey. If we learn how to control our donkey, that donkey then becomes a burak that will carry us to Mi'raj, that will carry us to divine presence. So the whole key now, understanding the animal and riding on our ego. There is a time for everything. These holy times that we're going to enter too, we are waiting. We're impatient to wait. The holy times that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has decreed on these humans, and He has filled those holy days and holy nights with rahmat. We are waiting for that, because we are getting tired from these months, these other months too. We are waiting for those holy months to come with their rahmat, so the spirit can be released a little bit, and our egos and our bodies, we can control it a little bit more. Rajab, Sha'ban and Ramazan coming soon, inshallah. So the timing that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has put for humans, if we are able to catch that, and if we are able to do it, it will give us the blessings for this dunya and for akhirat, for our bodies and also for our spirit. Praying 5 times a day, waking up at the Fajr time, and Islam is saying, wait until the Ishraq time to enter. Isn't it? And Holy Prophet ﷺ is saying, if you wake up for Fajr and you pray the Fajr prayer, and you wait for the Ishraq to enter, and you pray 2 rakats of prayer, Salatul Ishraq, you get the same blessings as if you had gone to the Umrah, as if you've gone to the Hajj. What happens that time to our physical bodies? To get up at that time when the whole world is sleeping, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, better than that, to get up in the last third of the night when this whole world is dead and they are sleeping and you're getting up for your Lord. And at that time, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, I'm descending in the last third of the night. And I'm there asking, who is awake to ask me? Who is awake to supplicate to me? Who is awake to ask forgiveness, to ask me what they desire? I am here. And that is a time when the breath of life is blown through the whole universe, and those who are awake and they're breathing and they're praying and they're worshipping and they're asking, those rahmat, those lights that are falling down, that is enough to make you to become young again. Because it is that time that the high, the word of high, the name, the attribute, the secret of life, it is blown. And if you are awake and you get it, people looking at your face and they're seeing, you look so young. You are old? How old you are? 36? You're so old, but it's young. Why is that? Because the life is entering. Because the lights they are entering. Because the rahmat they are entering. And if you stay awake until the sun is rising, science is hundreds, some thousands of years backwards from religion and spirituality. Now it is time to understand what kind of benefits it is just to watch the sun to rise. Just to watch the sun to rest. When it's rising and when it's setting, watching it. What kind of hormones are released from your brains and affecting the whole body to make the whole body to become strong. What happens at the duha time? Something else. Another secret coming. What happens in the zuhur time? When you're standing up to worship your Lord, when the sun is highest, what happens then? What happens? The rays that is coming down from the sun and what is happening from the earth? Something else. What happens in the asr time? What happens in the maghrib? When the sun is setting down and you are worshipping your Lord now. What happens in the isha time? When it's completely dark. When there's completely no light at all and you are worshipping your Lord. What happens then? There's so much secrets that if we keep just to the timing of these 5 daily prayers, the believer, the veils of his heart will open. He will start understanding. He will start seeing. He'll start experiencing. Muslims are not believing anymore. They may worship, but they're not believing. May Allah make us to become believers, inshallah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant strong life and a healthy life to our grand Shaykh and raise the station of our Shaykh higher and higher, and to make his return soon, to grant us more madad and more protection in these days, to make our Jamaat to be stronger, to make us to become more awake and more alert, and to do our job properly, inshallah. For all the eyes and for all the hasad and everything, and the fitna to leave our association, for us to be protected, inshallah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant health and more intelligence to Shaykh and his Jamaat here and everywhere else in the world. And for those who are trying to slick their way out, for them to wake up before it's too late, before the sword is unleashed from Sahibul Saif. And that time, there's not going to be much opportunity to ask for forgiveness. Until that time comes, we are praying that people will understand and put their heads back together. Wa min Allahu tawfiq. Al-Fatiha.